All right, now we've been talking about 10 ways to build your handyman business, and that they are low cost ideas that you can do right now. All right, so how do we get there? Well, if you remember right, a couple of weeks ago, we started with the Benjamin Franklin principle for making decisions. Okay, and if you're not familiar with this, basically you just on one side you put pros, the other side you write down cons, and you can draw a line down the middle of the page, and then you go from there. So the question tonight is, should I start a handyman business from scratch? Well, that's something that you want to answer. Did I do that? Yes, I did. In 1998, one night I was working underneath a kitchen sink at my house, and I said, I raised up and just hollered out to my wife, and I said, you know what, as much work as I do here, I bet you I could do this for a living. And she said, yep, you're probably right. And I said, you know what, I think I should just start my own handyman business. And she looked at me and said, why don't you? Well, I looked up at the, up at the heavens and said, did you hear that? Sometimes we got to get permission from our wife. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but that's how I started. So the very, very next day, what I did was I went to a neighborhood, I parked my car, and I went to the first door, knocked on the door, and handed the flyer, and I said, hello, my name is Rick Patterson, and these are some things that I do. So if you ever need me, ever need some of this stuff done, please give me a call. And she said, okay, I will. And I turned and I, walked off. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that was a warm and fuzzy. However, I'm not out here to get warm and fuzzies. I'm out here to earn a living, and I've got to get a job. So I changed one phrase. And so I went to the next door, and I knocked on the door. The lady of the house answered the door. I said, hello, ma'am. I'm Rick Patterson. While I'm here, what would you like for me to look at? And I looked, and I gave her the flyer, of course. And she looked down the list, and she said, do you fix gutters? And I said, oh, absolutely. She said, well, come on in. Let's do it. So from that day forward, I was in business, in the handyman business, full time. Okay. So let's look here on your screen. Number one is you get to be your own boss. Yay! That's terrific. We're going to talk about some of the cons here in a second. But, that's awesome. You get to be your own boss. You get to determine all these things that you do that your boss would, okay? For instance, determine your own work schedule. Man. All right, so let's say you've got kids and they got ball game in the afternoon, and you don't want to miss the ball game. Heaven forbid. So you can schedule your work schedule the way you want to. You can choose your own hours. If you want to work from, in the summertime especially, oh my gosh, if you want to work early in the morning and knock off from 12 to 4 and go back to work at 4 to 7, you can do that. Why? Because you're your own boss. All right, you with me? Now, you can work when and where you want to. That's cool. All right, so, my company's here in Atlanta, and there are some parts of town I don't want to go to. I don't even want to send my men there. All right? So, but, and then there's some days that I don't want to work. I don't want to work on the weekends if I don't have to. I don't want to work on Sundays if I don't have to. I like to have some family time, some time off to recreate what's in here and what's in here. All right? The other is that you get to choose the work that you like. Let's say that you hate plumbing. Now, my rule for plumbing is anytime you do plumbing, you're going to open up a can of worms. Boom! Anytime. And every time. So, sometimes I do plumbing. I am a very good painter, but I hate to paint. Do you? Do you like to paint? It's probably, to me, it's one of the most boring jobs around. You ever sit around and watch paint dry? It's the old phrase, it's about as exciting as watching paint dry on the wall. Okay. Well, But you get to choose the jobs that you want. If you enjoy building decks, dude, you can just go do decks all you want to. Yeah, but what happens if you get a phone call and somebody says, "Hey, can you paint a bedroom?" Okay, so you got to make those choices whether you want to do that or not. Or we're going to talk about this later on in another episode, is how to network. Let's say that you don't want to, or you don't know how to do tile. Okay, well, that's fine. Be buddies with a tiler, somebody that installs tile, and y'all swap out jobs. Let them give you all the deck jobs, and you give them all the tile jobs, and y'all swap out that way. Some guys do a referral fee, $50 to throw a name. That's fine. You can do that. Let's see. Learn new skills. Guys, did you know that there is free teaching, free trade skill teaching in your hometown, most likely. Most likely. There's free classes right now on Saturdays, probably 10 minutes from my house. You know where it's at? Home Depot. Yeah, Home Depot. And the reason it is, you walked in to the main entrance, and on the right there's a boulevard. A bulletin board. Now it's my right. It'll be this way for you, I guess. It's backwards. Yeah. And you look up on that board, and they have classes. They teach different things throughout the year. Isn't that cool? All right. And why do they do that? Well, it's marketing thing. They get you involved, and then they say, okay, you can get all these supplies. Here's the supply list, and here's where it's located, and go buy that and do it. And all of a sudden you're in the tile business, right? Okay, so there is free training all around. The other thing is, you can, if you want to learn how to tile, doggone, tile your own bathroom, tile the laundry room on the floor. Tile your backsplash. You practice at your house until you get very, very good, and then you go to someone's house and charge them for it, for doing it at their house. But don't practice at someone's house. Don't do that. No, it's not cool. All right? Now, here's another perk. You get more freedom. All right? Not only do you get to, choose where you want to work and what times and learn new skills, but you get more freedom to spend family time, time to travel. You don't have to work 7 days a week. You don't have to. Doggone. Don't get burned out. You get to have your own personal time. You can schedule something, a doctor's appointment, family time, go eat lunch with your kids, go eat lunch with your wife. How about that? Hey. And then develop other projects. All right, so there you go. That's the cool part about being your own boss. Now, let me give you a scenario too here. You've got a carpenter, maybe a journeyman carpenter, a master carpenter, and he's getting fed up. And he's, hanging around the office. He gets the idea. He kind of gets the idea of where the money's going and who's getting paid what. Well, the cool thing about that is he says, you know what? I'm going to take Rick's advice, and I'm going to be my own boss. And I'm going to go out and do this. Okay? And it's all the glamour. He's only watched this video so far, and then he went and started his own business. Don't go anywhere yet. I still got more to share with you, okay? Before you go. Because, this is real talk between us, just between us contractors. All right. So he says, well, I'm going to start my own handyman business. I can do this. I'm already a master, or journeyman carpenter. I'm really good at building decks. Don't know much about tile, but I'll learn that, or I'll pass it off to one of my friends. Cool. All right. So he gets out there, and he's plugging along. But all of a sudden, things go awry. It doesn't work out. The glamour, the sheen, the shiny object has dulled. It's harder. It's a lot harder than what he thought. So let's take a look at this. Here's some of the cons. All right. So first off, you're the boss. Yes, you are the boss, but you know what? And you carry all the responsibilities. All of it. You know, my men, I tell them, you know, if they have a problem, they contact me. All of a sudden, it's my problem, not their problem. Okay? So, yes, in this company, who carries all the, I am the boss, but I carry all the responsibility in the company. All right? So, here, you know, sit back, take another sip of whatever you're drinking, and here's what you got to face. Here's the con to this. You have to hunt for work. You know, I called a guy the other day. We were talking about him joining our team. I called him and I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sitting on the sofa watching a movie and I'm waiting for my phone to ring." I said, "Wow, that's awesome, man. That's pretty cool. I wish I could do that. How much is that paying you?" You know, he didn't have any marketing skills. And I tell you what, it is rough out there trying to make, you know, to fill your schedule. It's tough, guys. It really is. I did that, you know, my first day, my first 2 years. I still do it today. I'm a lot better at it, but you know, unless you're a marketing guru, you're going to have those issues. All right. So you have to learn how to market effectively, and we talked about that already. All right. You've got to learn how to make your phone ring. Everything you do, whether it's online or offline, the bottom line is to make your phone ring. Yes? Okay, write in the comments. Yes, Rick, you're right. Okay? The other is you may have to work long hours. You know, oftentimes I go to a client's house and they want something done like yesterday. They just called me today, but they want it done yesterday. So they're frustrated. They're frustrated with the guy that promised he would be there and didn't show up. They're frustrated with all kinds of things, and we'll talk more about that in a second. But, you know, you may have to commit to saying, okay, I will, you know, this is a 4-hour job, and here it is, 12 o'clock, you know, and so I've got to be done. Now, if you live here in Atlanta and you're on the other side of town, good luck with that. You know, we just had a bridge burned down. Literally, an overpass burned down and crumbled on a major highway. Yeah. So all kinds of craziness. You know, I get up on the super highways here thinking, hey, man, I'm going to take a shortcut. Bam! Free parking. I didn't get that notice. Free parking right here on I-20. All right. So if you live in a small rural town, God bless you. Man, go for it. You can make a killing off this thing. All right, because you can get home right away, can't you? All right. So you may have to work long hours. You know, long hours to get home, long hours to sit in the car, long hours to get there, long hours, just long hours, period. You get it. You may have to take jobs that you don't like. You know, what if you only like to do decks, but all of a sudden you're getting calls, which you want, but they're all painting jobs and you don't like painting, or tile jobs and you don't know how to tile. Do you see? You may have to go to Home Depot and learn how to tile. You with me? Okay. So you may not have time to learn new skills because you're working long hours. You're doing jobs you don't want to do. You're out there hunting for the job. Now, let me tell you this. There's a rule in business. Okay? Memorize this and let it be your mantra. Okay? Mantra is the word. M-A-N-T-R-A. Mantra. You can't work in your business You can't be out there slinging a hammer, slopping paint, digging in the trenches, and be working on your business at the same time. You can't. It's impossible. It really is. I took a job a couple weeks back, and I did it for a friend, and it took me a week to do this. I tiled their entire kitchen, and my business suffered that week. Why? Because I wasn't out marketing. I wasn't doing the magic. I wasn't out there getting my phone to ring. You see? And the company slacked off in some phone sales and phone calls. So I had to double up. Okay? Long, hard hours. All right. Less freedom. Let's talk about that. Literally, guys, less time to spend with your family. Why? Because you're out there banging doors. You're out there working jobs, working long hours, doing jobs you don't want to do. And you come home, and do you feel like doing work at your house? Your wife is telling you, the toilet's overflowed and the kids dropped a toy down there and they didn't tell me where I could get it out. And they thought they'd just flush it and let it disappear. And now all the toilet paper and everything else is all backed up. Okay, are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? Yeah. Okay, all the shine's gone now, isn't it? All right, so less vacation time because no work, no pay. You're sitting on the sofa watching a movie. You're not out there earning money. You see these ads on Craigslist? Get paid watching movies. Yeah, right. Okay? Too tired to do much. You know, you worked a 12-hour, 16-hour day. Do you feel like much? No, you just want to eat and go to bed because you know you got to get up and hit it again. All right? And finally, you can't work again in the business and work on the business at the same time. That's just it. So what do you do? Hey, I'm glad you asked. Let's move from there. That's a great segue, isn't it? Yep. All right. So what I'm going to talk about now is just a couple of things. I want to tell you that I've already figured it out. Duh! I've already figured it out. And my company's pretty successful. We're doing good. I'll just be modest about it. But what I've done is I've taken my business systems, my successful business systems, and put it in a package. And it's called the Handyman Business Systems Toolbox. Okay? And there's 4 basic elements. One is I'll show you how to effectively market your business, how to get your phone to ring. Okay? Not just relying on word of mouth. Okay? Word of mouth is good, but if it's the only thing that you're relying on, you're going to starve. You're going to be sitting on your sofa during the work day, wishing your phone would ring, watching a movie. Okay? The next one is how to set up and operate a virtual office. Guys, that's what I do. My office is virtual. My answering service, I've hired that out. I do everything on the internet. My clients pay me. I send out jobs through text, through emails. I get pictures before and after through emails. So nobody comes to my office. They don't need to. None of my clients come or anything like that. That's pretty cool. And I'll show you how I do that. The next one is how, if you want to grow your business, exponentially grow your business. Instead of you going out there and slinging the hammer yourself, because if you want to do that, that's cool. You know, it's going to be you, and I can show you how to market your business effectively, where you don't have to worry about word of mouth. But if you want to grow, if you want to start hiring other people, then I can show you this. So I'll teach you how to do that. The next thing I'll do is once you get them, I'll teach you how to train them and how to train them for success. That is the Handyman Toolbox Business Systems, the business systems that will set your business on fire.